Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtiki. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Caitanya Manobistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapikanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirviseshasha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We continue to read from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3. We finished the chapter 16 yesterday, so now we are on chapter 17. Victory of Hiranyaksha over all the directions of the universe. So it was the Lord's will that Hiranyaksha is going to be more powerful than all the demigods, even Lord Brahma. So now we are going to see how the pastime unfolds. Maitreya Uvacha Nisham Yatma Bhuvagitam Karanam Shankha Yojihitaha Tata Sarve Nyavartanta Tridivaya Divaukashaha. Sri Maitreya said, the demigods, the inhabitants of the higher planets, were freed from all fear upon hearing the cause of the darkness explained by Brahma, who was born from Vishnu. Thus, they all returned to their respective planets. So now the demigods understood what's happening. Otherwise, they had gotten so fearful. So we can see the demigods also, we worship them thinking that they are the supreme, but they are not the supreme. And yesterday the question was raised, worship also like attached. We should get attached to Krishna. Attached to Krishna. What is Krishna's instructions? Let me get attached to Krishna. Let me try to please Krishna. That is worship also. So because if we are doing that for any particular demigod, if we get attached to any particular demigod, we are trying to please that particular demigod, then we are going to go to that planet of that demigod, as we were reading yesterday in Sri Isopanisad. So that's why Krishna is saying, you worship me, to get attached to him, and we can go back to Vaikuntha. So we read from purport of Srila Prabhupada, the demigods who are denizens of higher planets are also very much afraid of incidents such as the universe is becoming dark, and so they consulted Brahma. This indicates that the quality of fear exists for every living entity in the material world. So even if we become a demigod, because we can, Indra, Chandra, Surya, Lord Brahma also, all these are posts. So we can, but we will still be fearful. we will still be fearful. That's why the proposal is, don't even, don't try to endeavor to become a demigod also. Endeavor to go back home. The 4 principal activities of material existence are eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. The fear element exists also in the demigods. On every planet, even in the higher planetary systems, including the moon and the sun, as well as on this earth, the same principles of animal life exist. Animal life, huh? Now, why it's being said as principle of animal life? Because eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, that is there for all living entities. Even animals do it. It's only in human beings that we have that intelligence to try to understand who am I? Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now that we have this human body, let's try to find out the truth. So otherwise, why are the demigods also afraid of the darkness? The difference between the demigods and ordinary human beings is that the demigods approach authority, whereas the inhabitants of this earth defy authority. If people would only approach the authority, then every adverse condition in this universe could be rectified. Yeah, actually, yeah, makes sense. The demigods, they approach authority. Anytime they are in a problem, they'll go to their authority, whoever is higher than them. And if that person is not able to help them, then they all go to Lord Brahma. And then if Lord Brahma is not able to help, then they go to Lord Vishnu. But we say, I can do it. Why shall I listen to anyone? I'm the greatest. Can you all resonate with this? That why do I have to listen to anyone? I know what's good, I can totally resonate with this.
Because we have this false ego.
Yeah, really. This is, it's really, I can really relate to this for myself. I can speak.
True. Yeah.
That who is this one to tell me what I have to do? I
Yeah.
know I can find the solution myself. So if only people would approach the authority, then every adverse condition in this universe could be rectified. So that means each and every one of us, if we, because we say, oh, the whole condition of the society is like that. Now what to do? The whole condition of the world. But if we start at our own level, we can make a difference. Every drop makes a difference. Arjuna was also disturbed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but he approached the authority Krishna and his problem was solved. Yeah, Arjuna also, he was in bewilderment. He didn't know what to do. So he asked Krishna, and only when he asked Krishna that Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita. Till the time Arjuna was giving excuses, I'm not going to fight because of whatever reasons. Krishna didn't say anything. It's only when Arjuna said, please instruct me. That's when Krishna started speaking. So the true authority is like that. We need to ask them. If we ask them, then they will reply. If we don't ask them, then they won't say anything. The conclusive instruction of this incident is that we may be disturbed by some material condition, but if we approach the authority who can actually explain the matter, then our problem is solved. The demigods approached Brahma for the meaning of the disturbance, and after hearing from him, they were satisfied and returned home peacefully. So peacefully. So the proper authority can help us, guide us to become peaceful. Ditistu bhartur adesh apatya pari shankini purne varsha shate sadhvi putro prashusuve yamo. The virtuous lady Diti had been very apprehensive of trouble to the gods from the children in her womb, and her husband predicted the same. She brought forth twin sons after a full 100 years of pregnancy. So because Diti knew that these two children are going to be like cause of a great distress to everyone. So that's why she tried to delay the birth as much as she could. So she kept the children in her womb for 100 years, Because she was thinking, oh, if they come out soon, then they're going to start troubling everyone. Let me just keep them as long as I can in my womb. Utpata bhavastatra nipetu jayamanayoho divi bhuvi antarikshecha lokas lokas yoru bhayavaha. On the birth of the two demons, there were many natural disturbances. All were very fearful and wonderful. In the heavenly planets, the earthly planets, and in between them. So means throughout the universe. Throughout the universe, there became all these very disturbing elements. You know, before in Satyug, like if there is some out of season, if some is out of season thing is happening, flowers are out of season, fruits are out of season, or even if the season is not as per, or it's supposed to be winter, it's not supposed to be hot. If like this also would indicate that something bad is going to happen. So means everything used to be so peaceful. Right now in Kali Yuga, we see everything is in a chaos. We are like, okay, whatever, you know. How do you even understand? Like we hear Yudhishthir Maharaj, he's seeing the cows going on his left side. So he's thinking, oh, that's a bad omen. Or dogs are barking. Oh, that's a bad omen. You know, and here we are like, we are not even, if we try to understand, oh, how many omens, then it will look at it, oh, it's like a total chaos, you know.
Countless, yeah.
Countless, yeah, countless. So best thing is just take the holy name. Just take the holy name. Sahachala bhuvas chelur dishaha sarva prajaj valuho solkas chasanyaha petuhu ketavas charti hetavaha. There were earthquakes along the mountains on the earth, and it appeared that there was fire everywhere. Many inauspicious planets like Saturn appeared, along with comets, meteors, and thunderbolts. When natural disturbances occur on a planet, one should understand that a demon must have taken birth there. In the present age, the number of demoniac people is increasing. Therefore, natural disturbances are also increasing. There is no doubt about this, as we can understand from the statements of Bhagavatam. So that we are all experiencing. Earthquakes, fires, eclipses, everything is there. Vavau vayuhu suduhu sparshaha futkaran irayan muhuhu unmulayam nagapatin vatyaniko rajodvijaha. Their blue winds, which were most uninviting to the touch, hissing again and again and uprooting gigantic trees. They had storms for their armies and clouds of dust for their ensigns. When there are natural disturbances like blowing cyclones, too much heat or snowfall, and uprooting of trees by hurricanes, it is to be understood that the demoniac population is increasing, and so the natural disturbance is also taking place. There are many countries on the globe, even at the present moment, where all these disturbances are current. This is true all over the world. There is insufficient sunshine, and there are always clouds in the sky, snowfall, and severe cold. These assure that such places are inhabited by demoniac people who are accustomed to all kinds of forbidden, sinful activity. So because we are not following the injunctions of the scriptures, then that's why this is happening. So as we say, the divine and the demoniac are in us, you know, in Kali Yuga, then we have to try to cultivate the divine, and we have to try to give up our lower nature. And chanting the Hare Krishna mantra is the only solution for that. Udhastat tadid ambodha ghataya nashta bhagane vyomni pravishta tamasa nasma vyadrishyate padam. The luminaries in the heavens were screened by masses of clouds in which lightning sometimes flashed as though laughing. Darkness reigned everywhere and nothing could be seen. Luminaries in heaven were screened by masses of clouds. We see so many times that, we can't see the sun for so many days. So many days we don't see the sun. But it seems all this was unnatural before, when the general population was following the principles. And they were, peaceful. Chukrosha vimana vardhir udurmihi shubhito daraha sodapanascha saritas chukshubhuhu shushka panchaka
Pankajaha.
Thank you, Pankajaha. The ocean with its high waves wailed aloud as if stricken with sorrow. And there was a commotion among the creatures inhabiting the ocean. The rivers and lakes were also agitated, and lotuses withered. Muhu paridhayo abhuvan saravaho shashi surya yoho nirghata ratha nirrada vivarebhya prajajnire. Misty halos appeared around the sun and the moon during solar and lunar eclipses again and again. Claps of thunder were heard even without clouds, and sounds like those of rattling chariots emerged from the mountain caves. Usually whenever eclipse occurs, it's said because it's a bad omen. Antargrameshu mukhato vamantyo vahinim ulbanam sraga loluka tankare pranedur ashivam shivaha. In the interior of the villages, she-jackals yelled portentously, vomiting strong fire from their mouths, and jackals and owls also joined them with their cries. It sounds terrifying.
So these are all the signs that were occurring, right?
Yeah.
Which are not auspicious.
Yes.
Due to the darkness and due to the deity's fetus inside Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, inside the
because they are
deity,
born
right?
now. Diti.
Yeah, deity, yeah.
They are
Yeah.
born now,
Okay.
Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So all these terrible signs are happening.
But some of these are still, we can still see, like some of these, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's Kalyug now.
Yeah. So we can still see all this.
Yeah. So because, we are having so many demoniac qualities within us, so that's why these signs are there. So that's why each of us, as we said, no, this is the signs that the demons are taking birth. But then now in Kali Yuga, the demon and the divine is in the same person. So that's why Lord Chaitanya, when he removed the Sudarshan Chakra to kill Jaga and Madai, Lord Nityananda said, my dear Lord, if you have to do that, then you have to, everyone is a demon in this Kali Yuga, then you have to kill almost everyone then. But that's not the purpose you came for. You wanted to kill the demon in the person, not the person himself. So you please start your Sankirtan, you give your mercy to everyone. And that's the reason, the importance of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. There's so much, and spreading this Hare Krishna mantra to everyone. And the more we chant this, the transcendental sound vibration we are chanting, so this universe is being filled with this transcendental sound, and then sound has such a great impact. So if we, each of us, do our part, we can make a change, So Sangitavad Rodanavad Unnamaya Shirodharam Vyamunchan Vividha Vacho Grama Simhastatas Tataha. Raising their necks, dogs cried here and there, now in the manner of singing and now of wailing. Karascha Karkashe Shataha Kurer Gananto Dharatalam Karkara Rabhasa Mataha Paryadhavan Varuthashaha. O Vidur, the asses ran hither and thither in herds, striking the earth with their hard hooves and wildly braying. Asses also feel very respectable as a race, and when they run in flocks hither and thither in so-called jollity, it is understood to be a bad sign for humanity or human society. So, Rudanto Rasabhatrashta Nidat Udapatam Khagaha Goshe Ranye Cha Pashavaha Shakran Mutram Akurvata. Frightened by the braying of the asses, birds flew shrieking from their nests, while cattle in the cowsheds as well as in the woods passed dung and urine. While cattle in the cowsheds as well as in the woods, cows passed dung and urine. So this is all when they are being born, all this is happening. Gavot rasan asarg dohas tayodaha puya varshinaha vyarudan deva lingani druma peturvina nilam. Cows terrified yielded blood in place of milk. Clouds rained pus. The images of the gods in the temples shed tears, and trees fell down without a blast of wind. My God, it's getting more and more terrible. Grahan punyataman anye bhaganams chapi dipitaha ati cherur vakragatya yuyuduscha parasparam. Ominous planets such as Mars and Saturn shone brighter and surpassed the auspicious ones such as Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus, as well as a number of lunar mansions. Taking seemingly retrograde courses, the planets became in conflict with one another. The entire universe is moving under the three modes of material nature. Those living entities who are in goodness are called the pious species, pious lands, pious trees, etc. It is similar with the planets also. Many planets are considered pious and others are considered impious. So each and every living entity is under these modes. Even trees, plants, we say is in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. You know, if which are the pious trees, which are the pious lands, is there. And similarly for planets also, Mars is supposed to be an impious planet. Saturn is impious because they bring a lot of trouble to people. So when the pious planets shine very brightly, it is an inauspicious sign. But when the inauspicious planets shine very brightly, it is not a very good sign. So the planets are also under this modes. Everything is under the modes of nature. Everything. This is a little longer. So let's stop here. Did anyone want to comment on what we read?
So scary.
Scary, yeah. Sounds so scary.
Yeah, the reading is like even the cow, the blood, I mean, it's scary.
Yeah, really. Really.
Yeah, it is scary.
Here also, when, I don't know, we've heard like when a tsunami is to happen or earthquake, some of the animals, they can sense before the human beings.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I've heard
Yeah.
that.
See them,
Yes.
they will
Yeah, me too.
wave,
I've heard that.
I've heard they have this instinct for survival.
instinct for, yeah. Yes.
So they are more they have
Like
that.
if you have a pet dog, then people say that if there is some trouble in the house, then they start barking. And if you have a cat, they like in the movies we see. I haven't seen in reality anything like that, but then we see it in the movies that all that starts happening.
Yeah,
Like
the
the animals.
survival instinct is there, right? And where does that survival instinct come from? Why is the survival instinct there?
Because they don't have consciousness, but then
This comes from the Paramatma.
okay, inside them. Okay.
Paramatma, yes. Paramatma is guiding. So it goes to show that animals also have soul and Paramatma is also with them. You know, because many people think, oh, animals don't have soul. But no, animals also have soul and Paramatma, super soul, is also with them, you know. So that is where this instinct comes from, because Krishna says, no, that all knowledge, remembrance, and intelligence comes from me. So he's the one who's giving intelligence. So then, because now we are hearing, right, that if there's some demoniac person is taking birth, then inauspicious things happen in the whole universe. So then we at our own individual level, we should try to become a little bit more introspective, you know, a little bit more introspective, try to see how our actions or words affect others. And so chanting really helps a lot, you know, chanting really helps in that. Did anyone else wanted to add anything? No? If no, then we'll stop here for today.
Yes.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare